That's over and above everybody.
Great. Okay, we are live. This is Shivali Chopra, your storyteller. Today I'm going to unfold a very, very interesting story, and it's about Mr. Akshay Chopra. He's an ex Air Force pilot. Today he's a fitness entrepreneur. He's the author. He's he's really involved in fitness quite a bit. In fact, a fanatic, if I may call it. He's a
So,
co-founder. He's a co-founder of Mango Herbs, and he has chain of gyms. I hope I'm right. Body mechanics.
yes, yes.
Well, what really intrigues me, this is something that everybody knows, but what intrigues me is that Akshay is a very keen, avid reader.
Yeah.
And what is more interesting is that he's a great speaker. He's been on Josh Talks. He's also been on TED platform. So I definitely welcome you, Akshay. It's my privilege to have you here, and have
Thank
a
you.
conversation with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shifali.
जब पहली बार मैंने आपकी कहानी सुनी, आई वॉज वेरी इंट्रीग्ड बिकॉज हर कहानी एक ऑर्डिनरी वे में शुरू होती है, हर इंसान की कहानी. बट what is interesting is जब वो एक मोड़ ले लेती है towards a extraordinary path. And you know the thing was that what really connected me was, like, as a student you were not very good with your studies, and in fact you failed in your 12th grade.
Yeah, I feel
And
in a math. That was my maths was something which I hated.
well, bingo. So did maths was always an issue with me. So,
Yeah.
Akshay, I was counting things that are common between you and me. Of course, one thing is very evident, it is our surname. And then the second thing is that we both dislike. Hate is a very strong word, which I don't really like to use, but yeah,
Okay.
completely dislike maths.
Yes.
And, as you grew up, you realized that there was something else completely hidden inside you, and that many people did not know of. And there was this one turning point that happened in your life. I mean, everybody has plenty of turning points in life, but there was this one particular one that I thought really needs attention, was NDA.
Yeah.
When NDA happened. So that was very interesting for me, because when I heard your story, I realized there was a time जब सब कहते थे अरे भाई इस बच्चे से दूर रहो क्योंकि इसके नंबर कम आते हैं. It's a
Yeah.
typical thing that we all do, and we all go through it. कि इस बच्चे के साथ बैठो, इसके साथ रखो, इसके साथ मत रखो, इसकी सोच अलग है, थोड़ा दूर रहो, ये कुछ
Right.
ज्यादा लिबरेटेड है, इससे दूर रहो, ये
Right.
शैतान है, ये गेम्स में ज्यादा पार्टिसिपेट करता है और पढ़ाई में नहीं. So when NDA happened, and how did it happen, Akshay, is what I want to know.
Okay. So, because you already said that I was somebody who was a very keen reader, and there used to be literally times when I used to read books, and I used to get into that zone wherein hours used to get past, and I was still in the book, and I never used to come to know that okay, I started 4 hours back, and I'm still reading. So, but nobody knew about this hobby of mine actually, because in those days, even now, most of the people do not know the difference between reading and studying, right? Now studying is something which you do for the purpose of primarily from the purpose of passing an exam, and passing, moving on to a next grade. Now some people like studying just like every other profession. A lot of people ask me that okay, how come this kid is getting 90%? Of course he's putting a lot of effort, but there's also a strong reason why he's putting a lot of effort, because he really enjoys studying. Not everybody does that. So and that's why anybody who's getting 50%, 60%, I'm absolutely okay with that person, because he may be interested in something. What I'm not okay with when youngsters tell me is when I don't see the right effort in anything. So that is wrong, right? Whatever you like to do, put your 100% effort. So now I was into reading, and I love uniform. So everybody who joins the defense forces, they always have that sense of patriotism, in the young age specifically. So after watching movies and all those things, right? And I remember one of the movies which inspired me a lot was movie back in the 80s. It was a movie called Vijeta, which was it was Shashi Kapoor, Rekha, and this guy who's there, and he goes into the Air Force Academy, and also that was the, I think, the only movie ever made back then, uh, which showed the Air Force Academy and Air Force. So that was something which inspired me. And then, of course, I filled in the NDA exam. Nobody expected that even I'll go, because actually I don't even tell anyone. Nobody knew it. Even in my family, nobody believed that I'll go and clear an exam, because I was not giving any competitive exam. I was not interested in anything, and I know I'll not pass. Why to give an exam of IIT? And because I was not preparing for it. But this was something which I was secretly studying for, the NDA books and everything. So I gave one attempt, was in my 12th. I think that was just a written exam I wanted to give and see how the exam was. I was not expected to clear the exam because I was not preparing. I just wanted to see how the exam pattern is. I went, gave, and then I prepared. In the second attempt, I cleared the exam, and everybody was quite shocked, because this is something which is something, there is no quota in this. There is no approach in this. It's a straightforward thing, right?
Yes.
And then, of course, I requested my mom that I want to prepare for SSB and all. Even then, people didn't believe me. Okay, they said, okay, maybe by some fluke he has cleared the written. I said, fine, that's okay with me. So then I prepared for the SSB, and I prepared very hard. And I remember, I had my SSB in Mysore, which is to Air Force Selection Board. And when I went to Mysore, so what happened? There were somewhere 90 students on the first day who report there.
Okay.
And on the first day itself, they almost reject almost 80 to 90% students immediately.
Oh,
Because first you clear the first thing you do is clear the written, and then you come for SSB. Now SSB they cannot accommodate 100 people in a particular place. So the moment
okay.
you reach there, there is something called a screening test. Now the
Acha.
screening tests are based on a lot of reasoning questions and all those things, which I love to do. That creative part was there, that type of thinking. So I'd already practiced that, and I was the first one to submit the paper there. I just said, okay, it's done. And it was, I think we were given a time of 30 minutes or something. I finished it in 15 minutes or so, because I'd already done
Oh,
those. So gave the paper, and even the there was a squadron leader, I think, who was invigilating there, and he was like quite surprised. He said, maybe this guy doesn't know anything, or he knows everything. So of course, after that, immediately on the first day, I think 75 kids were sent back, and 15 were left. And then SSB happened. SSB is a very, very extensive procedure. There is no exam equivalent to the length of SSB anywhere in India at any level. They grill you in every possible manner. So all the tests and all, then final day happened, and I was the only guy from North India to get into the Air Force. There was nobody else who was selected. There were three, four more guys, I think total. I think total there were 5 or 6 selections, but everybody was from Scenic School, and they were all for the army and all. So I was the only guy selected for Air Force from AFSCB that back then. And yeah, then NDA happened and went to NDA. And NDA was something which was totally different. I mean, you cannot even expect it. And a lot of people, tell me, ask me, okay, you tell us about NDA. A lot of youngsters ask me. I always tell them, I can't tell you. I cannot explain you what is NDA. It is something, people can tell you, okay, this is engineering college, this is medical. They can't tell you what is National Defense Academy.
yeah,
Because
because it
what
just transforms you from a boy to a man.
Yeah, well, I mean that happens, but the tough part, which is the grilling part in NDA, is that it's beyond your physical capacity. They try to always break you in a way that you reach your mental limitations. So a lot of people ask me, there must be a lot of physical. So I always tell them, no, it's not physical. Physical खत्म हो जाता है वहाँ पे एक level के बाद. They do so much physical. उसके बाद what pushes you is your mental ability. So they want to check to that level, that at what
Wow.
point does this person break. And if he's
Exactly.
breaking at this point in the starting of joining NDA, then we need to push his threshold to a much higher level by the time he passes out.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, I think even as an ordinary person like me would think it is all about physical fitness, but then you just broke that myth. So,
Right.
as you grew in your graph, and obviously you, if I'm not mistaken, you were there for almost 14 years,
Right.
right? And
Yeah.
after that, you, because you were so keen about fitness, and that's how you got into fitness. And today you are also, today it's a little different dimension because you're breaking the myths that people
Yeah.
have about fitness industry.
Yeah.
A lot of times you're telling them there are a lot of myths that people have about what to eat and what not to eat, what is the kind of exercising they should do and not do. I keep listening to your channel. Of course, it's a very interesting name that you have. We are stupid, and we truly are, because anything that happens, we just try to follow it. We don't
Right.
realize, we don't think, we don't want to reach out to the right person and speak to them about it. Are we right? These days, so many fads regarding dieting are happening. What do you have to say about that, Akshay?
Okay, so I'll tell you why I named it VS Stupid, and you'll know why this thing came up. So I remember when I came out of the defense forces, I was absolutely clueless about how the civil world was actually working.
Wow.
No idea of business. I was the first. Actually, I was the first in everything in my family, so I had nobody to
Mentor
take
you.
it as a mentor or anybody. So there was nobody to look up to. Now I was the first guy to get into NDA, the first ever to get into flying, the first ever to write a book, the first one to get into bodybuilding as a sport, then the first one who took up business and entrepreneurship. Now, when
Right.
I was taking it, of course, I had my my help was always business, books, and of course, some people who were in the civil, whom I met, my partners and all, and I was looking up to them, listening to them, understanding how it works. And people are not that straightforward in the civil world as they're in the defense forces, because in defense forces, it's not that people are straightforward; it's that they don't have an option. You have to work by the rules, by the book. Outside, there is no book, there is no SOP. Okay, and it's
Yes.
very difficult to judge people now.
Right.
And this is where the problem happens when a Fauji comes out in the civil world. He's actually hit like a storm, because the people in front of the person in front of you may be saying something and he's actually meaning something totally different,
I
right?
agree.
Too much of so-called hypocrisy, manipulations, and it's very difficult to understand.
Right.
But eventually, I started understanding. Once I got into business, and I remember when I came out, I had no idea of what is social media. No, absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was learning from my cousins and all. Okay, tell me what is Instagram. So it was, I think, 2018. Somebody told me, okay, this is called Instagram. This is how you use it. Because in forces we were not allowed. YouTube I knew, but then I had no idea of how to make videos and all those things. I've heard it long back. Uh, I even opened my account long back in YouTube, but then I couldn't use it because it's not allowed. Okay. Now I started working on this concept that, okay, there are massive amount of myths in the fitness industry, nutrition, supplementation, science, strength and conditioning, but there is really nobody clearing. And believe me, most of the people back then on YouTube in Indian fitness who were getting known were simply getting known because YouTube was new and they were getting a lot of views.
Okay.
Most of the stuff they were saying was absolute rubbish.
Yeah.
Even now, it's the same thing.
But
So,
Akshay, it's quite crazy that I have also realized that a lot of times people are talking trash, but
yeah.
because I think they have so many followers or so-called subscribers or likes, that's how they have reached there. Their content is very poor.
Absolutely. And this is a question a lot of people ask me, that how come then this person has so many followers. So I tell them, you need to understand that what country you are living in. This is a country where most of the people are quite poor, from lower middle class families, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities, who now have an access to phone, but they really don't have an access to right knowledge. So they
Absolutely.
cannot judge. Now, if a person is telling anything to anything in front of you, they will believe, because उनको ये लगता है कि ये इंसान YouTube पे है, that's the biggest thing. वो YouTube पे हमारे सामने आ रहा है, he's some celebrity, and they start believing him. So I some you must have seen, long time back there was all these babas and all who were caught, and
Oh,
they were
yes.
having 3 to 4 CR followers. Now, and that was the most stupid thing you could see, what these babas are
Absolutely.
doing on making movies and all those things. And then I used to give example, okay, if these babas can have 3 to 4 crore followers who are absolutely blind, why do you think your YouTuber cannot have such followers?
Right.
It is
True.
about how rubbish you talk, how trash you talk, right? And for females, it is today, it's how much skin show you do. That's what is attracting.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes.
So I was sitting in a movie hall with my wife, and I was watching a movie, again, a very stupid Bollywood movie. And I just said this, man, how stupid is this? What are we doing? And suddenly this name clicked, we are stupid. So I
Right.
told her, we are stupid watching this movie, wasting our time. And as it suddenly clicked in the middle of the movie, I went out. I asked my wife. She said it's a great name, and we will check in interval. I don't have time for interval. I went out, immediately checked the domain name. It was available. I registered.
Wow.
Then I started working on this concept of we are stupid. And stupid was a word which I used like a metaphor.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, so I use stupid in a sense that if you want to know something in life, you want to learn something new in life, you have to be stupid. It means you have to be open minded.
Yeah.
Also, if you think you know everything in life, also then you are stupid.
You're stupid. Yeah. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is where the stupid word comes in, and the aim is to again bust the myths related to fitness, nutrition, now eventually into lifestyle myths also, and with proper research and proper, basic common sense and logic.
Yeah. I think you said a very interesting point while you were just talking about it. Like, these days it is unfortunate that, people with poor knowledge, they just want that screen presence and all look glossy and talk about some nonsensical stuff that people start to believe in. And
Yeah.
I think it's a high time that people start to really assess of what the
Right.
other person is giving you. It's very, very, very important. We don't realize that.
Now I'll give you an example. Let's say you're in a profession. Let's say you want to be a doctor. Somebody wants to be a doc. There is a proper way you want to become a doctor. It's a proper legal thing, and you need to study MBBS, and then you get your degree and name as a doctor, and then you need to do your masters, and then a postdoctoral and whatever thing you're specializing in, super
Right.
specialization and all. But if
True.
you talk about health and fitness, there's no such thing. There's no regulation. Right. Now,
Right.
you can call yourself a fitness trainer or a so called nutritionist overnight. Nobody can ask you, nobody can question you.
Right.
There are people on the internet today on YouTube who are having millions of followers, and whatever they are saying is criminal. I mean, I'll not even say wrong. It's something which nobody has ever heard. They keep on making things on their own, hurting and harming millions of people, but they keep on presenting things in such a way that look, there are a lot of like-minded people. so
Absolutely.
so whatever these people are saying, all this crap on the YouTube and social media, there are crap minded people out there to absorb such knowledge, and there are
True.
very few people who want to know the reasons why and how. So I
True.
always tell myself that I don't want 15 minutes of fame. I have a proper thing to look up to for what I'm going to do in next 5 years, 10 years, and that's how I planned Be a Stupid. And I all my audience who's there, they're very intelligent audience. I block most of the people who try to be over smart on the channel, and so I mean, it's my channel. I don't want such audience. I want audience who can question. Yeah, so that's
Absolutely.
how Be a Stupid came in.
I think that's a very interesting way that it came in, and you're sticking to certain roots or certain kind of belief system. That's very important.
Right.
What is interesting is that as we move forward, I realized there was this little story about you was that everybody's just got 24 hours, and how we utilize those 24 hours is a very important thing. I really want you to talk about this, Akshay, because there is a thing that is called busyness, and people like to be just
Right.
simply busy for no rhyme or reason, and they think they are achieving, and then they think that they're doing something. I want you to talk
Hmm.
about this, please.
Okay. So I made the video, and a lot of people were asking me, students were specifically asking, "Sir, why don't you make a video on time management?" I said, "Look, time management is very well a concept, but most of the people who are wasting their books on reading about time management and all are actually wasting time, because the time management books will not teach you much, right? The thing is, people who are reading time management book first need to have a goal. For what purpose are they going to manage their time? That's number one. Second is, let's say I teach you the best ways to manage your time. Now the question is, everybody has 24 hours in a day, whether it's the prime minister or the biggest billionaire or anybody in the world. The question is not that anybody is they are not managing their time well or something. The main question is, are you going to last those 24 hours? Do you have that amount of energy in you that you can use the time productively? So before time management, what comes is energy management. So if
Fantastic.
I
I loved it. When I heard about it, I knew I already knew this because I'd heard you talk about it. But
Yeah,
I thought this was so interesting. We don't even think about it. It's the
yeah,
energy that we really need to focus on, and the
yeah.
hours will be taken care of. So from there is my another question. You can relate to it. That is, what are the kind of energy things or energy foods that we can utilize to be able to do better?
Okay. Uh, the first thing I'll not move on to foods directly, Shifali. I'll tell you when it comes to energy, the first thing I always tell people is you need to have a very, very, very strong goal in front of you. Even if you're hungry, if you're sleepless, but you have a strong goal, you will still push through. But if I give you the best of the foods, firstly, I'll tell you one more very funny thing, which is again totally impractical going on. So all these self-help, so-called overnight turned self-help gurus, some are very good, some are overnight turned because it's a new profession, and it needs no work. So all these 20-year-old kids, 25-year-old kids are now telling people how to live their lives. They're just not even born properly, done nothing in life, no achievements, nothing. The only thing is some people follow them on YouTube. So now they start telling you about, okay, this is how success is and this is how business is. And if you ask them how did you get success? What's your business for? Nothing. Now what these people are trying to do here is uh, they give you a lot of false philosophies on time management or goal setting and all these things. When I was saying having a very strong goal, uh, let's say I give you all the resources you have in the world. I'll give an example of a student. I always give that example. Let's say there's a student who is in a class and I give him the best of the books, the best teachers in the world, the best school, the best education system. And today those online classes are going on. So you take the best of the classes. But why are you still not able to score marks? Because that's the end result, right? The
Right.
reason is because somehow his goals or his aim is not aligned to whatever he is doing. That's why all these youngsters who come to me that, okay sir, I need to manage time, please tell me tips on time management, or let's say even energy management. So my question is, for what? Only two words: for what? If you want to
Right.
manage your energies, towards what? Now if you don't have an answer for that's why I always say you need to have a very strong why to live for. Most people don't have a why, right? And
Very
they keep
interesting.
on searching on concepts of how, what to do, how to do, but to do for what? What's your purpose? What's the why behind your life? If you have a strong aim in your career, in your life, anything, now you start managing energy, now you start managing your time, and then it will work. Okay, so
Wow.
first is your goal, then comes your energy. Now when it comes to energy management, so all the things we teach in fitness, having a good sleep. When I say good sleep, it does not mean sleeping 8 hours a day. If you're sleeping 8 hours a day, you have too much time in your life. Nobody needs 8 hours of sleep. Okay, and eating good food, not overfilling yourself, being in moderation, not getting into too many unnecessary fads. So I always tell youngsters, if you are in a field of fitness and nutrition, please ask me questions, I'll clear it scientifically. If you're not in the field of fitness and nutrition, watch my videos, understand and apply it, and forget it. Because what will happen is, so a lot of people today, I'll give you an example. So you were talking about the diets. So there are a lot of fat diets coming in the market.
True.
And I asked a question to a lot of dietitians also, who are good dietitians, I mean, clinical ones, studied, and who are with me, who are against all these fad diets. So I asked them, please tell me, where do all these actually diets come from? What's the origin of these diets?
Original.
In fact, 99% of these diets are all coming from Western countries, primarily US.
Absolutely.
One of the major reasons is because if you check these countries, their historical background, they really do not have a native diet of their own.
True.
Okay. And now what are they doing? In search of health, they're trying to experiment with multiple diets. So a set of people do some form of research studies, okay, which are half baked because they're only checking one aspect of it. And then they say, okay, this diet is very good. Fine, that particular part is proven. Now, let's say keto diet, which is getting quite famous.
Very
And I
popular.
argued with a lot of people and told them, look, I'll make a video series and I'll tell you why keto diet is good for who all people. It's very limited population who really needs it. Second is how you are studying in a very limited manner. That's why when people, all these good dietitians who are doing their clinical dietitian courses, masters and PhDs, they are not in favor of any of these diets because they've studied all the aspects of it. And all these guys who have suddenly got certified overnight, okay, these are the guys who will tell you that, okay, I'm following keto diet and all. It's equally harmful. It can be beneficial for some people, but my question to everyone and always is one: कब तक कब तक follow करोगे?
Right.
If I make you climb Mount Everest, you can't make your house on the top and stay there. No, you have to come down. So it's an adventure for
Right.
you. If you want to do an adventure for 20 or 30 days, take keto diet or any other stupid diet. But the question is, if now there are youngsters who are telling me, sir, मैं एक दो साल से keto कर रहा हूँ, मुझे तो कोई problem नहीं है. I said, इससे बड़ी क्या problem होगी that from 2 years, stupid guy, your mother is struggling to feed you a chapati on her own. You can't eat your
True.
mom's food. You can't eat with your family, and you are living like an alien. And at the end of the day, doing what? You are still the same person. You are not become the Prime Minister of India. You're not a Tom Champion sportsman. You are nobody. But still, you are
Right.
experimenting and thinking on your own and being happy. And अंदर ही अंदर से कि मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है. So this is the
That's
main
true.
problem coming in.
I've heard a lot of friends that I meet. When I meet them, they go, "Oh, right now I'm not eating. I can't eat for like 8 hours, and then I have to eat something." I'm like, "What? What? What is that?" And when
This
people
is
tell me,
called
"Yeah,
intermittent fasting.
I don't want to diet. It's my personal choice. I don't want to diet because I said my thing is always been. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, Akshay. I'm not any expert, but I personally feel, and I think I've been very consistent with it. That is that I eat just according to seasons. I try my best to eat according to seasons. So what the summer vegetables come in, I eat those, and then in winter I eat only winter vegetables. I'll never go out uh, to a supermarket and in the middle of summer I'll go buy a gobi. I said koshish karo as much as you can eat during the seasons, the whatever is available during the season, and try to go local as much as
As
possible.
natural as possible, as local as possible. Of course, some people, most people do need a form of supplementation also, but then there is science and exactly what is to be taken in how much amount. And unfortunately, even doctors don't study this. That's the
Right.
big thing.
That's a
Because
big
I
problem.
consult, yeah, because I consult a lot of doctors around the world, and they have the same question. They say, look, Akshay, whatever topics you are studying, this is not what exactly our courses cover. And whatever we study, which you don't. So a fitness professional is supposed to form that bridge between the medical and the non-medical community. That is
True.
the most
Yeah.
important thing. Yeah, and of course, I'm totally against any of these diets. So what you are talking about is something called intermittent fasting. It does
Absolutely.
have its benefits, but there is no diet which is to be enforced, right? I can show you benefits in multiple diets, but again, the question is, if you enforce it on somebody, it is gonna just harm that person. If that person is eating in moderation, he is absolutely fine in terms of his health. There is nothing. He just needs to improve on certain aspects. You don't have to change his entire lifestyle. He's asking you for basic changes, not to say that everything you're doing till now is wrong because according to my philosophy this is not right. No, this is
Right.
not how it works.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. There
Plus,
was a time
one more thing in India is, of course, which I always tell, is that you are living in the most colorful and diverse country in the world. Now, here
absolutely.
in every couple of kilometers, you'll find a new diet, a new dialect, a new way of cooking. Now, if you take a dal, okay, so a dal can be no any dal. It can be cooked in millions of ways, not even hundreds and thousands, millions of
Absolutely.
ways. Now, my
Absolutely.
question to all these people who are cooking, all this telling is okay, this is how you should eat. My question is, tell me, out of all these million people, how many have you checked or you can, and how many are wrong? Okay, this is the biggest problem, right? Now all these apps which are coming in, they are teaching people, okay, this many teaspoons of carry a weight machine to eat. There are people who are living their lives with a weight machine now. They're carrying a weight machine. Measuring
Yes,
every gram of food they were putting in. It's very common today.
is
These all
it?
stupid apps which are coming in. Yeah, these are health app, fitness app. What are they doing? They're trying to make you so mechanical because their only purpose is one, not to make you fit. Their purpose is to make you keep on opening their app. Every time you take a food, you count your calories. So imagine today if you go in, you want to eat something. Now, what these people are doing is that they will first weigh their food. They will see how that app has told them to cook a dal in a particular way. How many
Oh my
grams
God.
of, yeah, yeah. Yeah. This is how. Now, my question to all these people in this app is, please tell me which productive person in the world has so much time? Who
True.
the hell does all this? So, this is
That's true.
exactly what is the problem in fitness.
That's true. I remember there was a time this film came out, Tashan, if I'm not mistaken. In
Yeah,
that
yeah,
film,
yeah.
there was this Kareena Kapoor, and her famous size zero
Hmm.
was in. I mean, when I look at women, and I mean, no offense really. When I look
No,
at
no,
women,
you should. You
especially,
take an offense. They have already offended the entire country. Why should we not take an offense? What have they done right? Firstly, it was the most stupid movie ever made. One of the
it
most
was
stupid. There are many
also when I
others.
look at people, I mean, women, they're shrinking by the day, and obviously their sense of dressing also is kind of warped. I am sure I'm going to get flanked for this, but this is a
No, no, no,
fact.
no, 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 no. I'll tell you the reason behind this. And people, if anybody has any ideas or guts, please come challenge me. Let's have an open debate. I'll tell you what the problem with fitness is happening. Look, problem with fitness is the word fitness does not include any of these stupidities we are doing.
Right.
Fitness does not tell you to go on a keto diet or go on a size zero figure. No, that's not the case. Fitness is different for different people. The
Right.
problem is every couple of decades the fashion trends changes. Now, because of those, and who primarily influences these trends are these Bollywood actresses. So
Yes.
there used to be a time when there was absolutely no idea of something called a six packs or anything. Nobody even knew, right? And so there were people and very fit and excellent actors like Dharmendra, Rajesh Khanna, right, and Vinod Khanna. All these people were fit people, but they were not six packs or something, solid guys, Shatrughan Sinha and all. But they believe more in acting and all these things.
Yes.
Then came a trend somewhere in early around 2011 12. This trend started coming in,
Right.
the six pack trend, and it overtook the entire uh,
It's
the
really
industry in
changed the
such a
whole
way.
thing.
And believe me, because I consult actor actresses, and I know
Okay.
in what condition they come to me, and when they come
Nice.
to me they reveal a lot of dirty things about Bollywood. So
Oh God.
recently only there was a singer who's planning for a movie. He's been offered a movie, and a very well-known Punjabi guy, and he told me that, sir, he was in a very bad condition medically. He has just recovered all because of these things only, wrong recommendations, anabolic steroids, and all. Now he was telling me that I've been offered a role. The problem is the director is sending me an unrealistic picture. Okay, I want your body to be like this in 3 months.
Oh my God.
So I told him, look, ask that director that I will refund him double the amount he's spending on the movie if he can tell me naturally how will you achieve this.
True.
The problem is this unrealistic demand, because they want to show the people outside, okay, this is how your Bollywood. Somebody at 50, 55, 60 year of age having ribbed six packs suddenly out of the blues is
Not
not natural. They're on huge amount of anabolic steroids, hormones, and they have nothing else to do. A lot of people tell me, okay,
they're
Amir
making
Khan
money
was
out of what
spending,
they're doing. They're making money out of what they're doing.
oh, massive amount of money.
आम
Amir
आदमी
Khan at 55 is
आम आदमी
transforming
नहीं कर
himself.
सकता. एक आम आदमी नहीं कर सकता. You
करना
know,
भी नहीं
he
चाहिए. He is not
true.
supposed to do. Now, if let's say now today there's some movie poster coming on, some Shah Rukh Khan ki movie is coming in. Now, he has again built that. उनके हिसाब से वो lean है. For me, it's a rickshaw wali physique which he has built. Where he has lost everything and only the six packs are visible.
Oh
Now at
God.
60 years of age, a person getting into that rep wo, if best of the trainers in the world sit with me and tell me, okay, how has this been achieved in a normal, healthy manner? It's next to impossible. It's not even required. That is a wrong thing which he has done. But the problem is people outside will get inspired. Okay, look, ये पता नहीं कितनी मेहनत कर रहा हो कितना वो. This is not मेहनत. This is extremism, which is
Right.
not fitness, which is not health.
Yeah. That's interesting. This is what is happening when people watch them on screen. They get inspired. They feel, okay, oh, if she can do it, so can I. There's so many women who get inspired. They're little young girls. I mean,
Oh,
they're
many of them.
anorexic.
Yeah.
Anorexic. All just want to look, like bony, and they want to get into that kind of transformation, those kind of clothes. And there are a lot of times when girls like this approach me, and I tell them, yeah, but whatever said and done, Akshay, even if they have achieved certain amount of things in their life, their self-esteem is very low,
Yes, it is. No doubt. No doubt. It's very low. Yep. You're absolutely
because
right.
somewhere they're all broken. They are trying to be somebody, or trying
Yes.
to be somewhere what they really don't want to be.
I made a video on this topic. These questions come by youngsters that I want to look like Hrithik Roshan. I want to look. No, मैंने कहा, no. Firstly, you cannot look like him, and he cannot look like you. God has
Right.
given you something unique in your body. Build the best of your physique, and you will be somebody who people should envy. You should not start copying anybody. And
True.
I tell these to girls. In fact, my wife was after me to make the video on this. Again, another wrong trend going on in fitness primarily. I'll say it's more to do with health. Is all this keratin and hair smoothing in which is going on? I mean,
Yes.
it has gone to an extent where every single woman who is getting it, every single woman I'm saying, not even exception, they have literally burnt their hair because that's what they do. They burn
Right.
their hair, and there are females who have colored and straightened their hair to a level where they have hardly any hair left, and the entire hair is again an artificial hair extensions.
Yeah.
So people
That's
today want to lose their own identity, natural beauty, and want to cover them. And there are females giving, those makeup tutorials, which is fine on Instagram, which is fine. How can you have 6 to 7, 8 layers of makeup every single day? How
I must
can you?
I must share something on a lighter note. Just 2 3 days ago, I saw this video. Okay, now there was I don't know whether she was actually a bride or was it just for the shoot. I'm not sure, but there is this. I'm so sorry to say it's this so very ordinary looking girl with
Yeah,
I don't know what kind of patches on her face,
yeah,
but
yeah,
trust you me, there was this lady who did tons of layers for her, and then
yeah.
after that I couldn't, I swear I could not recognize her. I couldn't believe that she's the same woman.
Yeah, yeah. There are a lot of such before after. And you have just seen the pics. I have seen the consequences, and the consequences are not just for the skin, it is for the relationship. My wife is a lawyer. She's handling multiple divorce cases. Believe
Imagine.
me, lot of cases are coming today wherein there are females who want a divorce because their husband is not giving them huge amount of money to get their hair strengthened and their nails. What is that nails extended today? This is a
Are you
divorce.
serious?
Yeah, yeah, she has rejected such females. She said, "Please leave the office because I can't file divorce on such matters. It's your
Yeah.
husband is right, and you are wanted wrong." Similarly, there have been cases not, and this is very these are cases already there. There was a divorce filed by a husband who was dating a female, right? And he had never seen the real face of the woman. I mean, she was always with makeup, tons of makeup. But of course, most men can't realize this because they don't really do that, so they don't
Yeah.
know ko kitna makeup hai.
Yeah.
One day she went into the pool and came out of pool, bahar nikli, and she came out of the shower.
Oh my God.
The same evening that guy filed for the divorce. He said, "I've been cheated."
Oh my God. How serious?
Everything is nakli on the face. All
Yeah.
false eyebrows, false eyelashes, tons of layers of makeup, everything. And when he saw the real face, he was literally scared.
Oh God.
And
Imagine.
yeah, this is the
Imagine
main problem.
what a kind of pseudo life are we living, Akshay? It
Yeah.
kind of it really it's very thought provoking if you really ask me. I mean, we are so pseudo, we can't accept our own selves. When we talk about becoming better, it's always becoming better than the other person and not becoming a better version of your own self.
Yeah, and I said this in a video. I wrote a book also on this topic. The title of the book is Toxic Blonde. I made a video, and I told with proper researchers how when you're putting these chemicals in your hair, they are proven cancer-causing chemicals, and you are disrupting your endocrine system. Your PCOD, thyroid issues, and multiple other hormonal issues are primarily because of the chemicals you're pouring in your body.
Yeah.
And all these females, and there are females coming to my gym with tons of makeup on their faces. I tell them, let your skin breathe. What are you doing? To what extent do you want to do makeup? Okay, and
Yeah.
I'm not against female doing makeup. That's only what a female, it enhances the beauty. But the problem is you are now doing makeup not to enhance the beauty, but to look like somebody totally different. You are hiding your natural
Right.
beauty. If a person cannot
True.
accept you in the way you are, then that person doesn't deserve you. You need to understand this, and females don't understand this simple logic.
Yeah. Great. I think this is a great myth. This is also a myth that you have just cracked. I think we have to be more original to our own selves.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the beauty in any person lies. When you look at somebody and you feel, oh my God, this person is honest to himself or herself. And then the beauty by itself is not just outwardly, it is also inwardly. Everything
Yes.
that comes from within is more beautiful than the
Absolutely.
exteriors. And
Absolutely.
you must be facing this challenge or this kind of questioning every day.
I almost every day, and uh, people are extremely depressed. They are suffering from anxiety issues. Females, youngsters specifically,
Yeah.
because of this, discrimination which is going around. Now,
Right.
everybody cannot afford. You need to understand that when you do those makeup, the amount of money you are spending on hair straightening and lengthening and all this, it takes a lot of money. People cannot afford this. Then they try to do all the wrong things just to get in that money to, so this entire vicious circle which is formed. This is the problem.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of depth into it, and I think if people actually sit and listen to what you have just said, makes so much sense. I know you are hard pressed on time, Akshay, but I would definitely want you to give a message to the youngsters that look at you and they learn from you. That's important.
Okay, no, if they can learn from me, it's very good. But there are
No,
many
but
great,
I
great
must
people
tell
out
you,
there.
Akshay, that we all learn from each other's story. That's my firm belief. As a storyteller, that's my one thing I always tell everybody. One story can transform many lives. And I think
Oh,
that's a
yes, you're right. You're right. Okay, so one message I think we spoke about that also, that firstly have a strong aim. And when I talk about aim or goal, whatever you like to do, I'm not saying a specific thing. Whatever you like to do in your life, if you want to make it big in that particular career, have a strong aim, have a strong goal, and then put everything into it. When I mean everything, I made a video on this topic, and when I said that everything which you are doing, other than following your goal, is a distraction for you. So now all the distractions or anything in your life which is trying to pull you away from that goal, you have to remove them step by step. It will take a lot of time, lot of practice, and you have to work like crazy. You have to be a really so-called workaholic. If you are a workaholic, you should feel blessed. Okay, it's not a bad thing to be workaholic, but of course it should not be that the way Shefali you just told, that doing anything and looking busy. No, not that. It should be productive towards a particular goal. And of course, if you're watching my channel, then I keep on busting the myths. Use some common sense and logic also. Of course, science is the main thing, research is the main thing. Try and use some common sense and logic, and don't believe everything which is there in the market. There are more people out there to fool you than to really give you the right message.
That's fantastic, Akshay. Please, people who are listening to our story, आप इनके channel को subscribe कीजिए, which is We Are Stupid. And those who have not known yet about my channel, it's called Storylines by Shefali Chopra, where I unfold many stories of many people. क्योंकि एक कहानी बहुत लोगों की कहानी बदल सकती है, और हम सब हैंड होल्ड करके एक दूसरे से सीख सकते हैं. जरूरी नहीं है कि हम गड्ढे में गिरे और उसके बाद सीखें, हम पहले भी सीख सकते हैं. एंड
Right.
इन्होंने बहुत खूबसूरत बताया अक्षय ने कि हम सबके पास 24 घंटे हैं, 24 मेरे, 24 आपके. मगर अगर हम चाहें, विद आवर डिटर्मिनेशन, विद ग्रिट, विद डेडिकेशन, विद हार्ड वर्क, देयर इज नथिंग इन दिस वर्ल्ड दैट यू कैन नॉट अचीव. जो आप चाहेंगे हो पाएगा, उसी तरह और उसी वक्त होगा अगर आप फोकस रखेंगे. फोकस
Right.
इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. So thank you viewers for watching us, and I shall come again with a new story. Thank you so much, Akshay, for giving time to us. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Shivani. Thanks a lot. Thank you.